YouTube, what's going on fam, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be going over what I believe are the top 5 long range meta guns in Warzone right now after the Season 4 Reloaded update, because there were so many weapon changes with the damage adjustments made with the Reloaded update. I'm going to go from 5 to 1 in ranking, and I'm going to go through all the attachments and tuning with you guys. But before we get into the loadouts, if you guys could drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to share and tell a friend, I would truly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so starting with number 5, and the only assault rifle in this list is the Lockman 556. I know they really increased the TTK on the Lockman with the Reloaded update with all the damage adjustments, but this thing is just so easy to use with no recoil. I just feel like for the casual or anyone that just wants to play the game, this gun is just so easy to use, and it's still a very decent viable option right now. So I've gone with my Lockman 556 over all the assault rifles in the list just because of usability, if I'm being truly honest. So we're going to go through all the attachments now. So we've got the Harbinger D20 for the muzzle, we've got the 15.9 Lockman wrap barrel. For the optic, you can use, it's all personal preference, I've got to be honest with you guys with these optics. You can use the AIM OP, the ZZ recharge. I've got the ZZ Lone Wolf optic, it's the pay to win one, it's got the blue dot sight on it. So on this one I've got the ZZ Lone Wolf optic, and then you've got the underbarrel, you've got the F-Tac Ripper 56, and then for the magazine you've got the 60 round mag. So for the tunings on the muzzle, we've got 1.10 it should be. I honestly don't know why it always changes, guys, I've got to be truly honest with you. And then for the bullet velocity, we've got a positive 1.00 on the bottom. Then on the barrel we've got 0.4 positive for the recoil steadiness, and then for the bottom bar we got 0.20 positive for the damage range. For the optic, like I said, this is all personal preference, literally guys, the optic is literally personal preference, but I go all the way down the left side for ADS speed, and I keep it neutral for the close to far. For the underbarrel I've got 0.60 it should be for the left side for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.3 positive for the aiming ideal stability, and then obviously no tuning for the 60 round magazine. So leading us to number 4 on the list, this is the first of 2 LMGs on this list. We've got the HCR 56. Honestly guys, I don't really see enough people talking about this LMG, if I'm being truly honest with you. Yes, it is an LMG, and I know that puts people off because of the mobility and the reload time of these things, but the HCR is just essentially like a bigger, essentially it hits harder and just a bigger STB 556. I feel like it's one of those LMGs that, yes, it is an LMG, but it doesn't feel like an LMG. Like, yes, there's definitely a mobility penalty that you get from using it, but the reload time isn't as long as other LMGs, and it doesn't feel as sort of clunky as most of the LMGs, and it hits really hard. So with the attachments, we've got the Harbinger D20 from the muzzle, we've got the F-Tac Hornet 20 barrel. For the optic, we've got the AIM OP V4 this time. For the F-Tac Ripper, we've got that, for the underbarrel, sorry, I should say, we've got the F-Tac Ripper, and then for the ammunition, we've got the 5.6 high velocity to help with that high velocity on this gun. So going with the tuning, it's got 0.9 positive for the recoil smoothness, and then we've got 0.55 for the bullet velocity, and then for the barrel tuning, we got 0.4 positive for the recoil steadiness, and then we've got 0.3 positive for the damage range. For the optic, it's the same on, guys, I will show you this to you anyway, but literally my tuning is the exact same on any optic I use, so it's all the way down on the left side for the ADS speed. And for the F-Tac Ripper, it should be 0.55 for the recoil stabilization, and then for the bottom bar is 0.3 positive for the aiming ideal stability, and then for the high velocity rounds it should be 0.40 for the damage range positive, and then for the on the bottom bar for the bullet velocity we've got 4.06 to finish that off. Okay, so moving on to number 3 on the list, and the second and final LMG, the RAPHA. Essentially, guys, why I've got 2 LMGs in this list is because the LMGs really benefited from the damage range adjustments, because they had such a high TTK anyway. With all the damage changes and anything like that, it didn't really affect them that much. So that's why you've seen like a lot of assault rifles go down in the meta ranking list, and why you've seen a lot of LMGs actually go up in the list, because the TTK changes hasn't really affected LMGs, but it really hit the assault rifles quite hard. So that's why I've got 2 LMGs in this list. But anyway, going back to talking about this RAPHA, honestly, this thing is severely underrated, and I really don't understand why more people aren't talking about this RAPHA. The only thing that's holding it back, and the reason why people aren't talking about it, is because it's mobility. It feels very clunky, and the reload time is very slow. So that is what puts a lot of people off, including myself. But if we're going from a stat point of view and what this gun can do, this is a top 3, in my opinion, this is a top 3 long range meta gun right now. So if you guys do not mind the clunkiness, if that's more your play style and you don't mind the reload time, honestly, give this RAPHA a go. You will not regret it. Trust me, you will love it. But anyway, let's get into the attachments. We've got the Second Tread 40 for the muzzle. We've got the FSS Ollie V for the laser. We've got the AIM-OP optic. Once again, optic is personal choice. Underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56. And then for the rear grip, we've got the Lotman TCG 10. Moving into the tuning, we've got 0.60, it should be, for the recoil stabilization. And then 0.35 positive on the bottom bar for the recoil control. And for the laser, it's all the way down the left side and all the way to the left on the bottom for the ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. And for the optic, once again, same tuning as always, guys. Literally, I'm just showing you for you guys for the sake of the video. For the FTAC Ripper, we got 0.45 positive for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.3 positive from the aiming ideal stability. And then for the rear grip, we've got the Lotman TCG 10 for the grip. So this should be 0.85 positive for the recoil steadiness, and then 0.40 positive for the aiming ideal stability. Okay guys, so moving on to number 2, and just missing out on that top spot is the TAC V. Honestly guys, this TAC V's been disgusting for a while. Like, it's always had a very high TTK. The mobility on it is not too bad as well. The reload time is a bit slow, I would say, when obviously reloading and everything, but apart from that, this thing is just absolutely disgusting. And as you guys can see, I did drop a YouTube video using this iron sight build, as you guys can see here, and I dropped 34 kills with this thing. Honestly, absolutely disgusting. What I am going to do with you guys, because there is 2 ways you can build this thing, because obviously I prefer the iron sight build, as you guys can see. I think the iron sight on the TAC V is quite clean, but obviously I know a lot of you guys love your optics and want to use an optic. So what I'll do is I'll go through this iron sight build with the attachments and tunings, and then I'll go through what you would take off and put the optic on instead after I've gone through this iron sight build. But honestly, this TAC V is absolutely disgusting right now, guys. You must give it a go anyway. But anyway, let's get into the attachments. So we've got the Second Tread 40 for the muzzle. For the underbarrel, we've got the FTAC Ripper 56. For the ammunition, we've got 7.62 high velocity, because that is one of the weaknesses with this gun, I would say. The bullet velocity is not the best, so really, ideally, you should be using the high velocity as a must attachment, I would say. And then for the magazine, we've got the 50 round drum. And then for the rear grip, to help with recoil stabilization or recoil control, is the FSS Combat Grip. So with the tuning on this one, it should be 0.50 for the recoil stabilization, and then for the recoil control, we've got 0.15 positive. And for the underbarrel, we got 0.60, it should be, for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.25 for the aiming ideal stability. And for the high velocity, it's 0.60 for the damage range, and then 2.61 positive for the bullet velocity. No tuning obviously for the magazine. And then for the rear grip, it should be 0.50 for the recoil steadiness, and then 0.15 for the aiming ideal stability. But I'm going to go over you now what you guys should take out if you want to use an optic instead on this gun. So for me, if you want to take off an attachment to put an optic on, I'll take off the rear grip personally, and then I'll put on an optic. And then, like I said, it's completely like preference, guys, when it comes to optics. But I would probably use the AIM-OP V4 on this, and then I'll do the tuning at -3 all the way down on the left side for that ADS speed. Now moving on to the number 1 long range meta in Warzone right now since the update, and I don't think many people will disagree with me, is a returning meta literally from last season, the Cronin School. Yes, this Cronin School is back, but it's not in single fire anymore. If I'm being truly honest with you, I feel like the fully auto is much better now. So that's a relief in some ways. Some people feeling like that DMR meta's back again. No, if I truly feel like it's the fully auto is much better now over the semi-auto option in this. And I don't think many people are going to disagree with the Cronin being number 1 right now. Everyone is literally using it right now, and it is literally disgusting again. So going to be going over the attachments right now. So we've got the Second Tread 40 for that vertical and horizontal recoil control, and then for the barrel we've got the HR6 barrel. For the optic, like I said, personal preference. I know, personal preference, but we've got the AIM-OP V4 on this one. Under barrel we've got the FTAC Ripper 56, and then we've got the 50 round drum magazine. For the tuning, I've got 0.60 it should be for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.35 for the recoil control. And then for the barrel, we got 0.4 positive for the recoil steadiness, and then 0.4 positive for the damage range. For the optic, all the way down the left side for the ADS speed, guys. For the tuning on the FTAC Ripper, we got 0.8 0.8 all the way to the left side for the recoil stabilization, and then 0.3 positive for the aiming ideal stability, and then obviously no tuning for the 50 round drum. So those are the top 5 long range meta guns in Warzone right now since the update, in my opinion, with all the testing I've done. And I know we've only got, I think it's only 10 days left until season 5, but if you're still struggling right now what to use for the long range, for your long range fights and everything right now, I thought I'd get this video out there, and hopefully this video helps. And yeah, hopefully you guys start winning more gunfights with these builds. And I know I've already asked you guys at the beginning of the video, but if you guys could drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to share and tell a friend, I would truly appreciate it. We are so close to 2k subs over here on the channel now, and we are so close. And if you guys want to come and follow my Twitch, I'll leave a link down below for my channel, and we stream all my gameplay over there 3 to 4 days a week, and you guys get to see me test all the guns live on my Twitch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.